Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming, and some of you may on Twitter the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you in a Let's Play episode of Sileo, Ty's Path. So yeah, before we jump into it, just want to let y'all know that our Patreon is now for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel, get some awesome rewards like permanent access to our community Discord server and full access to upcoming Not Safe for Work videos. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm chain, you were up. Let's go. Alright. Of course, so long as you remained useful to me, I had planned on keeping you around, but the very moment you became a liability, I would have cut you loose without a second thought. It is looking to me like a liability is exactly what you've become. Disappointed in you, too blind to see what was right in front of your nose. How very, very disappointing. I'm done wasting my time with you. Ty coldly turned away and walked away, heading deeper and deeper down the path. The light of the flashlight being the only clues to where he was. He went deeper and deeper until I lost sight of him entirely, plunged into complete darkness. All alone. Forgoing what little strength I had remaining, I sunk to my knees. Had Ty seriously played me? Was that all that I meant to him? I'm not worthless. I'm not a slob. Tears began to run down my cheeks. Ty's words had cut deep. Somehow he knew just where to strike. No, this couldn't be right. This wasn't the Ty that I knew. And not to mention Axel's strange antagonistic behavior. Perhaps it was this place. Perhaps it had some kind of strange effect on people. After all, they only started acting weird when we arrived at the building. But wait, what about Eric and Lucas? Perhaps that was just a coincidence, or perhaps it wasn't this place after all. Perhaps something else was going on. Wiping tears from my cheeks, I settled on defiance. Refused to accept any of this. Standing back up, I reached into my pocket, retrieving my phone and switching the flashlight function on. It only lit a few feet in front of me, but it would have to do. Having no other options, I decided to proceed onward, to try and catch up with Ty. This wasn't over, not by a long shot. I'd been walking for maybe 10 minutes, seeing nothing but the same cells on each side of the corridor, when finally, just up ahead, I saw the glow of a flashlight down a path off to the side of the corridor. I picked up my pace, ready to confront Ty. I was about to let him off the hook. I grew closer and closer before at long last turning the corner. Found you, asshole! Oh, what? Instead of Ty, I had stumbled upon the point where the two corridors merged back together, and just in the nick of time to stumble upon the others. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were Ty. Did something happen? I sighed. I hadn't told Dom about any of my problems with Ty. There was too much to catch up on. Yeah, but it's a long story, and somehow I don't think the story is over either. I'll tell you everything later on, okay? Sure thing. Enough talking, we're nearly there. Nearly where? If you shut up and walk, you'll find out. Sorry about him. I have no idea what's gotten into him all of a sudden. Yeah, I figured as much. Ty's been acting weird, too. I suppose all we can do is keep walking, right? I guess the answers to our questions are ahead. Somehow I feel like it might be a better idea if we turned around and left. There's something bad about this place. So you know, water time. Alright. I'd agree, but Ty went on ahead. We can't leave without it. Besides, he owes me some goddamn answers, and an apology for that matter. Shit, alright, Hunter. I'm not gonna leave you to find him alone. Just promise me you won't start acting weirdly too, okay? I promise. I'm holding you to it. I hate this. Let's go, I guess. Pussy. Oh, shut the hell up. Accompanied by Dom and an unusually ornery Cheetah, the three of us proceeded onward. I was pleased to once again have the light from a high-powered flashlight, something Axel repeatedly attempted to grab from Dom, only for Dom to push him off. It was obvious that in my absence, Dom had grown far less patient with Axel's misbehavior. I noted that both Dom and I were canines, and both seemingly unaffected. Ty and Axel, on the other hand, had gone completely off the rails and were both felines. Maybe there was some mold or something that caused severe psychological effects in cats, but not in dogs? Surely such a thing existed. It would have been weaponized by somebody already, though. I'd never heard of anything like it. Still didn't explain Eric and Lucas, though. I still didn't know if that was related or not. None of this made any sense. I crossed my fingers that we would find our answers soon. Look! Ahead at the very end of the passage lay a large iron door, not unlike the hatch that we passed through earlier. At last, we're here. Took you both long enough. Don't want to hear it, Axel. Right? Dom smiled for the first time in a while, holding his hand up for a high five. I obliged a subtle grin on my own. Axel at this point was more akin to an irritating stowaway as opposed to a member of the team. Axel, whose expression remained unchanged, walked ahead of us and threw the door wide open before standing aside and prompting us to enter. Unlike Ty, had opened the front door of the building earlier. Hurry up! Get in! Although Ty was more gracious and patient about it. If Axel is recommending it, it can't be a good idea. I know, but unless Ty somehow stuck past you guys, this is the only place he could be. We have to keep going. Just so you know, I'm doing this for you, and for Ty. I know, I appreciate it. Shall we? Yeah, let's get this over with. Dom allowed me to take the lead, remaining close behind. The two of us took our respective deep breaths and entered. Oh boy. Holy shit, what is this? I was thinking the same thing Dom was. I looked around, my eyes bearing witness to various different ancient torture devices. There was a guillotine, an iron maiden, several other things I did not recognize, and then I saw him. Oh god. At the rear of the room, Ty stood, his arms shackled to the wall and his shirt missing entirely. He looked angry. I gasped, which drew Dom's attention. He followed my gaze, finally noticing Ty. Oh shit, Ty! Dom rushed towards Ty, his face full of concern. I knew that was a bad idea. I called out, begging him to stop. No, Dom, stop! Don't! Oh, Dom, no! He'd got too close. Despite his bindings, there was nothing to stop Ty from using his powerful jaw to... Like now? Water time? His body had crumpled to the ground, blood pooling rapidly from the massive chunk Ty had taken out of his neck. There was no coming back from this. Almost dead. Once more I dropped to my knees. The only sane person who had been with me through this horrible nightmare was gone. I was all on my own. My eyes shot upward and darted around the room, frantically searching for the source of the laughter. It wasn't Ty. His voice was deeper than that. Axel. I searched around for the source of the voice, finding nothing before finally taking a look behind me. The iron door I entered through had been shut. Axel was nowhere to be seen. My immediate instinct was to run. I got up and ran to the door before desperately trying the handle. There was no use. The mechanism to lock it must have been on the outside. It made sense. A torturer wouldn't want their victims escaping were they to somehow break free of their bindings. Was I going to die here too? I turned around, a sudden jolt of fright surging through me as I realized that there was someone standing where I'd knelt only moments before. Somebody I didn't recognize. Well, well, today has been one positively bursting with irresistible surprises. It is so very nice to make your acquaintance, my dear hunter. Who are you? How do you know my name? What are you doing to Ty? My, take it easy. I am capable only of answering but a single query at a time. And I give you my assurance that all will become clear in due course. I've been known by many, many names. What you call me matters not. As for how I've come to know your name, rest assured, I know a great deal. Should you consider the wisdom, knowledge, and perception of our dear Ty here to be anything noteworthy, I can assure you that which I possess is vastly greater by every conceivable metric. Neither of his answers really satisfied the question I had asked. His name was of little consequence to me, as was how much he knew. I wanted to know his purpose, and specifically where he learned my name. Looking at Ty, he didn't seem to be in a talking mood. The mysterious stranger didn't look especially dangerous, but there was something about him that made me incredibly uneasy. His jet-black feathers were flawless and pristine, a showcase of impeccable health, and his face carried the implication of youth. He appeared perhaps even younger than I was. The suit he wore was similarly immaculate, entirely pristine, looked incredibly articulate, and was no doubt worth a great deal of money. Despite that, the style looked as though it were a relic from a bygone era. Everything about him was so perfectly presented, yet so deeply unnerving. His eyes were blood red, an extremely rare color, and one I'd never before seen in person. And looking into his cold red eyes. There you go, water time. My gut told me that something was wrong, but I couldn't articulate my feelings in any greater detail than that. I once more surveyed my surroundings, coming to the same conclusion I had previously. There was no escape, no way out. If I was going to die here, there wasn't a single thing I could do about it. And strangely, I very quickly adapted to the assurance of my demise. I suddenly stood up straight, my stance conveying newfound confidence. and I asked him point blank what I wanted to know. After all, I was going to die anyway. I had nothing to lose. That doesn't tell me what I want to know. I don't give two shits what people call you. I want context. Perhaps a better question than who you are would be, what are you? And what is your purpose? Ah, the sickly sweet serenade of one with naught left to lose. There is no better sustenance. Answer my fucking question, Crow. Raven, thank you very much. Answer my fucking question. So rude. For such insolence, I have half a mind to release poor Ty here. Something tells me that he is positively dying for a juicy snack. Despite having nothing to lose, it would seem the Raven wasn't so willing to play ball. As it would happen, I had something to gain, some explanation of what had led me to this bitter end, some closure in my final moments. I sighed. I either died in ignorance or died knowing why. I begrudgingly decided to play along. Please answer my questions, Raven. To you, I am at least Sir. I sighed again, my dignity for closure. If I was dying anyway, what did either thing matter? Nonetheless, I decided to indulge his request, at least for now. Please, sir, would you kindly answer my questions? You see, was that truly such a difficult endeavor? I shall begin in earnest by striking two birds with one stone, as it were. The irony of he himself being a bird was clearly not lost to him as he strutted across to where Ty was shackled. Well then, the question of whom and what I am. I am your deepest fears and insecurities made manifest. The Raven lifted his finger, delicately stroking the fur beneath Ty's chin. Ty responded with a ferocious growl, yet he did not attack. Instead, his gaze was focused firmly on me the entire time. The Raven chuckled as Ty bore his teeth. Though he was acting, the growling, the fury, the bestial ferocity reminded me of 2 nights prior when we did things. His ferocious, dominant, animalistic side. I recalled being a touch nervous all the while. The only thing keeping me from fear was my trust for Ty. My trust was rewarded. Second now. It is, in fact, water time. Delicious water. Ty was in his right mind, after all. His animal instincts under his jurisdiction. But this time, nothing remained of the Ty that I knew. He had given into his inner beast. His ancient animal instincts had taken hold, replacing the kind-hearted, sweet man with... As for my purpose, well, that is for you to decide, is it not? What are you talking about? Pray we do not get ahead of ourselves. We'll come to understand in time. With all due respect, it doesn't much look like I have any time left. I suppose it all depends on what you have chosen to believe. Such is hardly my concern. Ooh, excuse me. Finally, you wanted to know how I knew your name. You see, everybody here does. What? Everyone here? What are you even talking about? It struck me that the Raven had spoken many words, but not a single one contained a shred of information. I had learned nothing from this encounter. I could only assume this was his intention. You will come to understand, and perhaps much sooner than you think. The stranger chuckled, before turning back towards Ty and beginning the process of unfastening his bindings. What are you... Do you not have things that you should be doing? What? You are quite fortunate that he has not seen you yet. As always, his words made no sense. At this point, Ty's growling had resumed, and he bared his enormous fangs. Not to mention his bindings were already halfway done. I knew it was fruitless, but I had to escape. I had to at least try. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before we go, I wanted to give a quick shout out to my lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all so much for everything you've done in the channel. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silvermoon. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. We greatly appreciate the extra expense. And for our gold tier patron, Almer, thank you so much for subscribing to our ultimate Patreon tier. We hope you like your new icon. So yeah, anyways, y'all, if y'all want to be on the end credits, it's as little as $5. If y'all want a personal shout out, it's $10. It's $10 a month. And if y'all want a personalized icon made by L, it's $15 a month to join our Patreon. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and end it right there. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!